Welcome to the Louisville Business Review, where we spotlight the best local businesses in Louisville. Today we have with us Olivia Griffin, the owner and founder of Riot Cafe in downtown Louisville. Hello, Olivia. Welcome.
Thank you.
Olivia is the proud owner of this beautiful cafe called the Riot Cafe right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Our audience would like to know a little bit more about your business, what consumers it serves.
Yeah, so we opened a Riot Cafe officially about a year ago in the winter of 2021, which was a really tough time to be opening a business. But we found that there was a need not just for a coffee shop, because a lot of coffee shops downtown had closed, but a safe place for marginalized communities. So Riot Cafe is really a networking hub and community center for the queer community, for female entrepreneurs, and for the BIPOC community.
Wonderful. And what was your impetus for starting this, and why is it so important?
We started the cafe not entirely on purpose. It was born out of the riots of 2020, which is why we called it Riot Cafe. The corner of 4th and Chestnut that we occupy is where the riots hit the hardest in downtown Louisville. And we felt like it was very important to remember this history and Breonna Taylor and everything that transpired in 2020. And what was originally going to be just an expanded version of my bar, The Limbo, we decided to totally turn that on its head and open the social justice cafe called Riot Cafe.
Excellent. And how many employees would you say you have right now?
Well, because all three of my businesses are in the same building, there is a lot of cross-pollination. So some of my staff members work at all three locations. They have a lot of job security. Some of them only work at one of them. But currently in total, I have 8 employees across all my businesses.
Beautiful. And are you looking to expand?
I am not looking to expand into like more locations or whatnot, but we are always looking to expand and grow our missions that we have set forth at Riot Cafe and develop tangential business ideas that are adjacent to what our missions are, which are to support marginalized communities and entrepreneurs. So anything that we can do in those areas, we will be expanding on, but we're not looking currently to open more Riot Cafes.
I see. And do you own 100% of the business, or do you have partners?
I own 100% of all the businesses. I don't have any partners or any investors. I opened all 3 of my businesses very non-traditionally with very little funding, or no funding really. It's just me bootstrapping everything. I started opening a bar after I got my entrepreneurship MBA from U of L. And I originally was going to have a partner and it didn't work out. And it kind of was a blessing in disguise, I'd say, in some ways, because I don't have to answer to anybody and I'm my own boss. And I make most of my decisions quickly and from the heart and strategically too, so we can stay in business, but I don't have to answer to someone with, holding money over my head.
Yeah, you definitely have the entrepreneurial spirit in you times 3 or more because you've opened so many locations in such a short period of time. Have you always had the spirit of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, for sure. I've always been this way. My brain works this way. I like to solve problems. I like to create something that isn't there yet. I'm from San Francisco, and so a lot of ideas that I bring to the table come from my travels or come from bigger cities or come from more progressive cities. And I like to push the edges and push the boundaries and push the locals here to really think about what Louisville could be, how much farther can we take this? Let's not be stuck 10 years behind the rest of the country. Let's be really progressive. Let's put it in people's faces.
Beautiful. And what do you think is keeping people from doing that? What do you think they're afraid of?
Oh man, I mean, I think the culture here is so bizarre to me because I'm not from here, but there's a lot of old money, there's a lot of family money. Oh, my parents might not like if I do this or that or say this or that, or so that's a whole thing I've never experienced. My parents aren't wealthy. I never had to answer to them or had to care about their opinions. So there's some of that going on here. I think that Louisville is kind of like a big small town or like a small city. So there's a lot of cattiness and clickiness and a lot of like cancel culture stuff that swirls around for sure, especially in the hospitality industry. And I think that people are so worried about what everyone's going to think about them. But I'm not from here, so I don't really care what people think about me. I just don't. I care about the people I care about, and namely those are my staff and my team who are incredible. And I do a lot of this for them, to create a space for them and to encourage them to pursue their dreams. And part of our mission at all of my businesses is to help my employees live the lives they want to live, even if it takes them beyond and outside of my employment. So
That's beautiful. What was the toughest thing you went through when opening?
so many things. I mean, physically, we had to get a change of use permit. The space that Riot Cafe occupies was just a gift shop and gallery, and you have to have a special change of use in order for it to be assembly. So that took a while, especially during COVID, with people not in their offices, at normal times or hours. So everything that would normally already take a while is taking 2, 3, 4 times as long, like liquor licensing and that. So that was like challenging in that regard. The other difficult part is like I kind of referenced the cancel culture aspect of it, because I am a white person opening a business that's to help marginalized people, which includes women. I've gotten a lot of blowback, namely from other white women, which has been really interesting. I would say a majority of all the people in the BIPOC communities that I'm supporting, that support me, absolutely love Riot Cafe, feel very welcome, and are so thankful to have it there. And it's their affirmations and support that keeps me going, especially when I have someone who's questioning my intentions. Because I'll tell you right now, opening any business in downtown Louisville right now is not a profitable business. Louisville downtown is not where we thought it would be at this point, and it's not where it needs to be in order to be successful. Like, I'm investing and taking a huge risk in opening businesses down here when we don't have the residential foot traffic or the tourism foot traffic to support anything. So that's been another challenge.
Challenging times. What's your vision for this cafe and your other businesses? Where would you like to see them in 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, ideally?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that the Limbo, even before Riot and now Riot Cafe, we are two of the weirdest places you can go to in downtown Louisville as a tourist or as a visitor. Like, I want us to be known as iconic, must-see, must-go spots for people that are coming in from out of town, because we're embracing the local culture and we're showcasing the people that don't normally get showcased. Most of our burlesque and drag shows and poetry hosts, they're all people of color and they're all great artists and they're all super cool, and we're bringing them all under one roof, and it's very unique. So I'm hoping that within a year we are like one of the go-to tourist destinations because we're weird and unusual and pushing the boundaries.
That is amazing. Wow. This is very exciting because it's something different. I take it for Louisville and from what they're used to. People around here, I know in San Francisco, this is very normal, and people don't look twice even when they see interracial couples. But here there seems to be, a difference that seems very dated. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah.
All right.
Louisville's stuck like 20 years ago, and I think we can push the edges. We just have to keep trying.
Yeah. So this is amazing. Tell us a little bit more about the kind of support you've gotten from people, the words of encouragement and things that keep you going.
Yes, I mean, literally it's been mostly, there's been several like Black female patrons we've had at Riot Cafe who I don't know, who don't know me, who like find out I'm the owner because I don't really walk around advertising that. And they come up to me and like a lot of them with just like tears in their eyes are just like, thank you, thank you so much for just having this exist, because I just love it and I just feel at home here and I want to come here every day and I just want to be in this space. And that's been the best encouragement for me, is just the individuals who just feel so safe and at home in Riot Cafe. Like that'll keep me going for weeks.
Absolutely. And if you had to start all over from day one, what would you do differently, if at all?
And I mean, I feel like I learned a lot of stuff from opening the Limbo as my first kind of hospitality venture. And with Riot Cafe, everything we've done with intention, and we've done very carefully from the beginning. So there's really not a whole lot I would do differently. I think that we're doing a really good job, and I'm still learning as an owner and a manager constantly. If I had known the things I had known, a year ago about retaining staff and building the culture, it might have been easier to retain staff at that time. But I just think at the beginning of 2021, it was such a strange time for everybody, and learning how to support and give your staff what they need in order to survive and then thrive is what all these employers are learning, or having to learn, or not learning and then failing. So
Sure. And if there was a young entrepreneur that wanted to, if they're watching this and they look at you and they're like, wow, I wish I could be like her, what advice would you give them?
I would say don't go to college. It's a waste of time. And I would say, and money especially. And I would say, reach out and seek out people that you admire. You'd be surprised how many people that you think are maybe more successful than you who will reach back and mentor you or help you, or you can intern with. You can learn a lot more from people who are already out in the world doing the thing than you can by going and sitting in a class with professors who haven't been out in the real world forever. I know that's not every program, but I've learned way more from people I've worked for or worked with than I ever have in school. And that's what I would recommend.
Now, you seem like a natural entrepreneur. It doesn't always just happen, but does entrepreneurship run in your family? Did you have any mentors that guided you through?
I mean, my mother was a little bit of an entrepreneur on a small scale. She was always working for herself. She ran a dance studio for a minute. She's a massage therapist. So she was always working for herself. She ran a preschool in her house, but on a very small scale. She would do that. And she definitely had a mindset of like, oh yeah, just go do whatever you want to do. Like, it doesn't matter. I really didn't have a real grasp on gender inequality growing up because I was very much empowered by my mother. It wasn't until I became a bar owner that I realized how vast the differences between how men and women are allowed to operate in the economy. Like, it really didn't become apparent to me until I owned a bar, which is a traditionally male thing to do, is to own a bar. It wasn't until then that I really understood how different my experience was from men. And it was mind blowing. It still blows my mind to this day. It's mind blowing.
So what are like the top like 2 or 3 things that you see as being opportunities for a solution, and how would you like to see the industry in the future transform?
Do you mean in like a gender equality kind of way?
Yeah, since you mentioned that.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I actually just wrote an article for the Leo about women in hospitality, and I surveyed a bunch of women, some I knew, some I didn't, about their experiences working in hospitality. And I would say one of the prevailing responses was women will often get promoted because women are good at doing a lot of things, and they're good at multitasking, and they're good with people. And women are the heart of the home. So oftentimes women do get promoted in hospitality, but they get given a lot more responsibility without the pay increase that a man would have gotten in that typical promotion. And they're just kind of expected to take up the slack because they can and they have the capacity to. So that was a lot of the feedback I got. So but I would say I would like to see if women are promoted in hospitality industry, they need the proportional wage increase that goes along with all those extra responsibilities they're expected to shoulder. I would also like to see an absolutely zero tolerance policy from managers and owners, especially male managers and owners, for sexual harassment within the workplace from patrons. It's still rampant. It's unacceptable. It should not be okay. I would like to see male managers and owners shut down other men who are talking or saying terrible things. Like, it starts behind closed doors. It starts in the bathroom. It starts in the locker room. It starts when you're hanging out with your friends at the bar. And all allowing that to happen and not calling out your compatriots on what they're saying is what begets what we now know as the Me Too and the rape culture. So I think that would be a solution. It's like, call out your male family members and male friends and stop them from saying these things. Start there. And that will have a trickle down effect and will literally affect women's well-being in the workplace.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if we could segue into your business and in terms of bringing in new customers, what's the number one way you're currently bringing in new customers to Riot Cafe?
Well, I don't really pay for traditional advertising. We do a lot of stuff on social media, but not a lot of paid stuff. The best way really is to just come in and have a cup of coffee, tell a friend to come and have a cup of coffee. Once you come in the space, you'll really understand how unique it is. There's so much to see, so much art to take in, really cool products, and we're connected to a hat shop. There's just a lot. I just need to get people's feet in the door and take the time to come downtown. Downtown is not a big, scary place. It's perfectly safe. And downtown needs your support. The downtown of your city is the heart of your city. It's what tourists see when they come here. And don't you want to have them experience something cool? So I would love to have people that live on the east side of Louisville come downtown and come into Riot Cafe and check it out and recommend it to people who are traveling.
That's beautiful. And who would you say is your ideal customer, your perfect customer for this cafe?
My perfect customer is ideally someone who maybe hasn't felt like they have a place to do work and feel safe or feel welcome. Probably a woman or femme presenting person who really just wants to find their community, because we have lots of different communities within Riot Cafe. We're bringing a lot of people together, which is what I love to do. And my ideal customer is probably like a young, creative female person who, wants a safe place to work and to be, and then could then discover some of these other communities and get involved, because we have a lot of cool stuff going on.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit more about the cool stuff in terms of, if I was that customer and I was looking to be a patron of your hey, what could I expect to purchase? What could I expect to look forward to?
So we've got all kinds of products in here. I'm buying pastries from 3 other female pastry chefs that are fabulous. We've got candles, bath bombs, stickers, postcards, poetry, all from local female artists that you can buy and support. We've got a really interesting but small selection of wine and spirits that, again, like focusing on natural and sustainable. And then event-wise, like tonight, we have our very first poetry slam. We are doing a salsa night once a month, which is super fun. We do a lesbian tea dance event here, so it's all focused on like the queer lesbian community. So I would say come on in and check out our calendar. We've got a lot of our events up on Facebook or Instagram or our website, which is riot.cafe.
Wow, sounds like you are more than just a cafe, that's for sure.
Yes.
And how would you say the internet has played a role in your business in terms of, bringing in clients, given that more and more people are going online to seek out information before they ever come to a business?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are Googling us and finding us. That way, if they're looking for a coffee shop downtown, they're finding us. And I think you can tell too, the people from bigger cities who are maybe more creative are purposefully coming to Riot Cafe, not just because it's a coffee shop, but because they did the research and they saw that we're quirky and artistic. And you can just tell when they walk in that they get it. They walk in and they get it because they live in San Francisco or LA or New York, and they are seeking out these places in smaller cities.
Awesome. And Olivia, what is one thing you'd like to accomplish in this business overall that would have you saying emphatically, yes, I did it. I actually did it. What would be that one thing?
I would like to eventually see Riot Cafe be able to develop a profit sharing program with its employees, and specifically with its female employees. So I would love to see, once we're more established on our feet and all my businesses are debt free, I would love to be able to give pieces of the pie to the staff members who've invested their time and love into Riot.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we jump off?
I think that's it. We covered it all.
Are you struggling to figure out the best ways to promote your business? Forget about the failed attempts and get your business featured at Louisville Business Review to experience the real-time conversion and aspire to new heights of success with greater exposure and ROI. Visit www.louisvillebusinessreview.com to get featured now.